Some fairly large rock and roll guitar sounds there,
That
Daniel.
sounds awesome.
Bit out of tune on the old E chord there, but there we are.
Hey guys, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here, hello.
So, Mick, I thought we'd have a quick look at some boosters today. Just to give you a bit of ideas of different flavours that you can get. And what I've got here, I've got 4 boosters. Let me just put that cable away because it looks messy. Alright. This is the...
For those of you who spend like months building your pedal boards, the way this works is, let you into a little trade secret here. We film like 3 or 4 videos in a day, and Dan just like strips the pedal board down and builds it up again in between each video. It takes me hours even to just shift some stuff around on mine. Anyway.
It's I get into a Zen mode.
Yeah.
And just... Yeah.
Have you ever built one in a car on a way to a gig with somebody or anything?
No, I mean the maddest one we did was in Frankfurt.
Okay, with Andy.
That was
yeah.
That was crazy.
That would be Andy Timmons.
That would be... I forget about that every time. I met someone and I hear this. So good. Okay, right.
Actually,
as you were.
Before we begin, we're taking a few things for granted because what we're discovering is we're getting lots and lots of new viewers from all over the place. So if you're new to That Pedal Show, welcome.
Welcome.
This is Dan, I'm Mick. Please subscribe to our channel.
Please.
Because that's good. And buy a t-shirt if you like. But yeah, hello to all the new viewers because we're getting loads. So
yeah,
hello and welcome.
Hello.
We're glad to have you along.
Yes. And any comments or suggestions that you have, just write them in the comments or suggestions section. And yeah, we'd love to hear what you think. Such
as don't put a hot beverage on a belting valve amplifier because the health and safety people wouldn't like it.
It keeps it warm though.
Yeah, it does keep it warm. Yeah, it's nice. Anyway, boosters.
Okay, so I've put on here my 4 main style of boosters. Okay, we have a treble booster, we have a dirty boost, we have a clean boost, and we have a mid-humped boost. Okay.
What's the difference between a dirty boost and a overdrive pedal?
Okay, a dirty boost, such as the Dirty Radish that we have here, it's still a full spectrum.
Okay, so it's EQ.
But it's dirty. It's the this is a really good example. The Church of Tone by Love Pedal is a good example. The way that it's definitely a boost pedal used into an amplifier that's compressing a bit, which you'll hear in a second. It's just divine. But as opposed to an overdrive pedal, you have a lot more control over the way it compresses. This is just turn it up and rock out. Yeah. I mean, you could use it as an overdrive pedal, but generally as a booster, absolutely superb. Okay. So yes, dirty boost, a completely clean boost, and then the mid boost. So we've got the Keeley Java Boost. Now this is the first treble booster I ever bought. Okay, this is one of the early ones that still has the DC input on the side that they stopped doing because loads of people were plugging them in with daisy chains and blowing things up. Really fantastic transistor, proper germanium treble booster. The really cool thing about this, you've got a level and a tone control, and you've got a 3-position selector switch. So the middle position is the original, like an original treble booster, which is just cuts everything from like 1K below. Yeah. And then
would that be like a Rangemaster, something like that?
Exactly, it's very similar to a Rangemaster. Yeah. Then we have more of a full frequency boost, and then sort of a half thing. So yes.
Why haven't I got one? That's the next question.
I don't know. Are you drunk all the time? So
moving on.
Okay, so we've got 2 amps. We've got the Super Reverb set up here.
Clean, and loads of it.
Clean and... How great does that guitar sound?
Doesn't sound bad.
Man.
It's not a bad sounding guitar. Right back at you.
Hello, ladies!
So yeah, the point is the Super set high headroom. Yeah. So
there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. It's going to show how basically how these boosters compress into the amps and then into pedals as well.
The other amp is Victory BD1, which is set without any clean headroom because it doesn't really have any.
This is just guitar into the amp. That sounds fantastic. Seventh harmonies.
Harmonically rich, Dan.
You like that? It's awesome though. That's what a great sounding amplifier. Yeah, beautiful.
For anyone wondering how loud it is in the room, it's kind of loud enough to get you tingly.
Yeah, but we're not hurting our ears or anything.
And that's a classic rock sound.
It's fantastic, and you see that the gain is like barely on.
Yeah.
So that's just the guitars and the amplifiers.
Yep.
Okay, so first of all, we're going to have a look at the treble booster. Now, the treble booster, if this is to go into a purely clean amplifier, the result would be this. So if you play, just turn one. Doink. So I'm a little bit more precious about this than I am the Telecaster.
Oh, really? I want more dents on this.
Okay, so. I'm going to turn this on and just be a bit careful because it's going to hurt.
I'm just going to lose a bit of that reverb. It's a sound.
It's a sound.
But it's not the nicest sound in the world.
No.
Kind of very spiky.
Yes. Now let's do that again, but into the amplifier that's compressing. Magic!
I think
just magic.
When we first started doing these videos, one of the key things that became instantly apparent was when you plug the same pedal into two different amps, you get such a different response, and that couldn't be more true than with these two amps. So one of the things that people have asked for a lot over the course of us doing these videos is whenever we do a video with a high headroom amp, people say, oh, can you do it into a compressing amp? Because I'd like to hear that, and vice versa. So the whole point of this is showing you that boosts sound radically different into...
Yes, exactly. However, now what we're going to do is going to put an overdrive pedal into the super reverb. Okay, so to the trusty Carpe Diem. So this is the clean sound. Carpe Diem into the super. So good. So good. Okay, so there's that. Now, treble booster into the Carpe Diem into the super. That's the sound. That's the amp. So, if you have an overdrive pedal that reacts like an amplifier, a tube overdrive pedal is a really good example. Using a treble booster with that sort of an overdrive pedal can be awesome. If your overdrive pedal isn't warm, it can get a bit fizzy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you were using a higher headroom pedal like the Analog Man, you'd probably
put the king of tone in. So. And with the treble booster.
Just reminded me instantly of Brian May, because you get all that mid and top sizzly stuff.
Yeah, so the Analog Man certainly lets it's probably more dynamic, and higher headroom. That's right, and that's more of the guitar.
It's no different than the amp that you're running into.
Exactly,
is it? It's the same thing. If you run it into a high headroom pedal, you're going to get a slightly spikier, harsher sound, and if you run it into a pedal that's compressing.
Yeah, if you crank the Analog Man, that'd be fine. But that's the because that's just an example of a pedal that's very amp-like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the treble booster into an amp-like pedal, great
Yep.
results. And also like tube overdrive pedals like we did last week. Again, great results. So you don't necessarily have to have an amplifier that is absolutely cranked. I mean, it does sound ridiculously great. That's just killer.
That's just the amp.
That's just the amp. Yeah. That's the Carpe Diem into the super.
Yeah.
You know, if I turn the middle up, that's the super.
Yeah.
That's the victory.
So for those of you who kind of look at the words treble booster and think, why on earth would I want to boost any treble, which we've said before, but into an overdriving amp that's compressing nicely,
Very special.
sweet, or into the front of another overdrive, as you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, a dirty boost.
Did we hear the Les Paul with the Keeley and the Victory?
I don't believe we did. Shall we?
I think we ought to. You've been practicing. That was, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Tell you what.
Struggle to get a classic rock sound? I don't think so.
No, and here's the thing with that sound. Because it shelves off so much bottom end, it's really easy to play. If you've got a lot of bottom end in your lead tone, it's hard. It's hard to push that much air and get clarity. But with that bottom end sort of shelved,
Yeah.
and all you have is mid range.
I guess that's one of the reasons why it works, and that's another reason I'm picking up this other guitar, because with a Strat, obviously, you don't have all that girth and push of humbuckers. Can we hear it with the Strat? Exactly the same sound?
Absolutely.
Tune to E flat. Hang on.
Okay, so straight away you hear that you don't have as much overdrive because the guitar isn't pushing the amp as hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so automatically it's cleaned up. It's as if you've wound back the volume on your guitar a bit.
Oh, I've got something we need to try on that front in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is just the Strat and the Victory, yeah?
Yep. Killer.
So you think, right, Strat, amp's not really breaking up that much. What do we do? Put a treble booster on it? Who in their right mind would do that? What a kicking sound.
So you can see why some guys will have a clean amp for their clean sound, a dirty amp for their dirty sound, and just switch between them.
Just for reference then, let's hear that exact same sound, but using the Super, not using the
Okay.
Victory, and this will sound pretty horrible, I expect. We're going to try it anyway, just for giggles. It's just got none of the vibe and chewiness and lovely, and it reminds me of being 15 years old, getting my first ever Fender Twin, turning it up really loud and plugging in a completely inappropriate overdrive pedal and going, this isn't supposed to sound like this. This is supposed to sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan, and it sounds like next door neighbour
Sarah Ray
Steve
Vaughan.
mowing the lawn. Yeah. All right. Wow. Okay. So I've learned something already.
There you go.
Blimey, what a cool sound.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so treble boosters, very cool. You know how to use them, and you can really it's such a great way to have a different coloured lead sound. Yeah, it's more like it can sound a bit like having a cocked wah on your lead tone, just with a.
That's easy for you to say.
Moving on, let's have a look at this. So this is the Dirty Radish. So again, if we just hear the Super Reverb by itself. If you dig into that a bit, you'll feel it just compress. Yeah, so it's not a completely clean sound. It does break up and have
nothing like as hard sounding as the treble booster, and that's because it's full frequency, I guess.
It is. Exactly. But now, if we put that into the Victory. Yeah?
Cool.
Now, but you'll hear, because it's not as dramatic as the Treble Booster, because it's still full frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just sounds like more.
Yeah. But if we use this in conjunction with an overdrive pedal, so Dirty Radish into the Carpe Diem. So here's our Carpe Diem sound. We do that all the time.
No, that's great.
Okay, so there's the Carpe Diem and the Dirty Radish. You have a go with that. It's just
The bottom end there is
it's killer, isn't it?
because there's so much bass boost and treble boost. It's really carving out a lot of the mids. I would have thought that would be a great kind of sound if you were playing chords, rhythm.
Yeah.
But I get when you come to solo, you would lose a bit of that, wouldn't you? Because it's not really punching out of the mid range there.
Yeah. That's when you're kicking your treble booster. So, the RC Booster. Now, this is a classic. Okay, this is the Scott Henderson signature model. The only difference between this and the normal model is there's 2 volume levels. Sorry, there's 2 different gain levels.
Yeah.
So that you can have it set for a cleaner, dirtier.
Yeah.
But as a clean boost, it's absolutely superb. So if you want to just have a play.
So the difference between this and the Dirty Radish?
It's just got more control. So the Dirty Radish is the gain is set up with bias control.
Okay.
So, for example, it will be when you...
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it's biasing the gain and it's doing... That's how it gets all the harmonics and stuff in there. Yeah. Whereas the RC Booster is very much... It's a low gain booster, sort of more traditionally... with you got a EQ on it and drive and So this is again into the super. So you can actually get this to be almost transparent. set like that, virtually no difference between it being on or off.
Yeah, I mean, so if you say booster to me, that's what I imagine.
Exactly.
The same, but louder.
Completely clean.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we turn this up then. So what's cool with this one is we can actually get rid of a little bit of that bottom end. So with that, when it boosts, we're not boosting the bottom end with the same velocity. Is that a word? Or am I making shit up?
Shake your fist at me and say big words like that.
Okay, so I'm going to dial a bit of the bottom end off. So you hear now that the bottom end isn't kicking out so hard when you hit those bass strings, yeah? So again, if we go to the dirty amp. Okay, so it just gives you a bit more. But the thing with the clean boost, it's where you use it in your signal path. Okay, so for example, I've got this set up. So in one preset I've got it going before the Carpe Diem, another preset I've got it going after.
Right. Okay.
So at the moment with this, I've got the booster going into the Carpe Diem, into the twin, into the super. So give that a whirl. Okay, now this is with it after. So you hear that with it going into the Carpe Diem, it's compressing the Carpe Diem more, it's pushing that signal in, you know, it's hitting the rails and things are getting more fuzzy, but you don't have that massive volume boost. Whereas with it after, you get the gain of the Carpe Diem and that is simply increased. Because we have so much headroom in the super, you can handle that increased headroom. Yeah? Whereas if we put that into the...
Yeah,
the results would be, sort of mild.
So should we try it?
Let's give it a go. So we're going to go from... Just 1 second. Okay, so this is the RC Booster into the Carpe Diem, into the Victory.
A little bit of background noise there.
Yep. Very little difference.
Not much difference because it's all hammering.
It's all hammering the front end of the amplifier. So it's either the Carpe Diem is compressing or the amp is compressing more.
Yeah.
You know, one way or the other. So that's clean boosting. Strat.
Let's just, because a Strat's a guitar that you probably would. A lot of people do boost because they think it makes it, or they think, we think, it kind of makes the whole thing just sound a bit fatter.
Sure.
By putting a boost on.
Sure.
So maybe we could just hear the RC Booster into the 2 amps just to show what a difference it is.
Yeah. So
the Strat. What's that?
That's the 2 amps together, because don't forget, you've got 1 amp that's overdriving and 1 amp that's clean.
That's a killer sound.
It's awesome. Well, now let's put a booster into that.
Yeah. What a cracking sound.
Yeah, because what's happening is you're getting the extra compression, but you're getting the volume boost from the super.
Oh my. You know what? This guitar, when it's quiet, kind of sounds a bit weak.
Right.
But when things are going,
when that guitar hits some gain, it really is special.
it's funny, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
you wouldn't
yeah, yeah.
think. You wouldn't think. Can I just hear it super, and then I want to hear what the RC Booster does with the Strat into that amp and then into that amp.
Yes, of course.
Can we do that?
Yeah, yeah. So, super. RC Booster. So that's obviously a lot of boost.
Yeah, leave it in the same place for the
Yep.
Yeah, exactly as we would expect, but I think it's worth doing for the purposes of demonstration. Boost, clean boost, high headroom amp, massive jump in volume, clean boost, overdriving amp, compressing amp, more compression,
Exactly.
more gain.
Exactly. And the same thing, if you think of the overdrive pedal as that compressed amplifier, you have with the boosting into it or after it, massive jump, before it, some more compression. Okay, the Tumnus. So, a fantastic clone. I think, are we allowed to say clone? Oh, you're out of coffee. You sad? Okay. Right, so we in the clone shootout that we did,
Yeah,
and we really like the sound of this, and
You
I've
like
been
this?
using. Yeah, it sounds fantastic. It has a more of a mid-range push to it, more like an 808 style thing, that sort of mid-hump. Yeah, but this also has a nice bottom end. There's loads of guys been commenting that whenever we say things like, what was one of the, I just need to mess with the bottom end and let me... Anyway, sorry. Okay.
this wouldn't be funny in Sweden.
No, of course.
No
it'd be-
toilet humour there whatsoever.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Australian.
Little bit of toilet humour in Australia. Just
Okay,
a little bit.
Just a hair.
Yeah.
Just a dark curly hair. So let's have a look at the Tumnus. Into the Super, so we can hear what it sounds like with the
Okay.
Strat.
This might be nice actually. Let's do this. Yeah, immediately recognisable as that more mid-pushed. Probably notice it on the in-between settings where they sound really thin otherwise. Yeah, we mentioned John Mayer. He likes those in-between sounds, so he would use a clon type thing to get a bit more fatness, you know. That kind of thing.
Beautiful.
That kind of thing. That's
Very
where
nice.
that mid push works on a Strat, I think. Sounds that
Mick Taylor, ladies and
no, I just those are sounds that I really like.
That sounds ace.
Yeah.
Okay, but a lot of people use this as a booster as opposed to an overdrive pedal. Yeah. So just like you've done then, just boosting and shaping the tone of the Super. Okay. If we do the same thing now into the Victory. killer, isn't it? Because it's the shape of the EQ of this pedal. It just has the right amount of bottom end, the right amount of mid push in it.
Yeah, man, that sounds
lush, isn't it?
It's funny because
if we do both amps on. Isn't that awesome?
What a killer sound.
Yeah. So there we go. 4 different flavours of Boost. Each, I think, are wonderful in their own way. They all, they all have their own applications.
Did we have the Tumnus boosting the Carpe Diem?
Oh, we didn't.
I think we should hear the Les Paul for that.
Okay. So, Carpe Diem into the Super. And with the Tumnus. That's a super reverb, ladies and gentlemen. A super reverb. You got both of them?
Yep.
There we go. Okay, well, I really hope you enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
I enjoyed that. My mind has really changed about Marshall style amps and boosters. It seems the more of these shows we do, the more I end up plugging into a Marshall style amp with a booster, the more I'm like, oh yeah. And maybe that's what I've been trying to get these to do all these years.
Maybe.
With the various combination of pedals, you know?
But how great do they sound together?
We've said it a lot, but we can't say it enough. One amp that's compressing slightly more and overdriving, one amp that's slightly cleaner with a bit more headroom.
Very special.
What a cool sound!
Yeah.
And as we're going to do in a video coming up very shortly, you can do it at low volume. So look out for that one.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Keep those comments coming, and we will see you next week.
Cheerio.
Bye.